what's everybody? How's it hanging? How's it happen? You guys know this is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast, sponsored by Dark Fusion Systems, the best for your custom computing needs. You need a custom computer for gaming, streaming, creative, music, business, whatever. They will build the best PC for you. Get $100 off your entire code CPPOD at checkout at darkfusionsystems.com. Links in the description of the podcast below. They also got a new keyboard for you to check out. So thank you guys. Now to our feature presentation. I've had Damon from A Virtue on the podcast a couple of times. And right now, when we shoot this, he's on the road with A Virtue opening for Imminence. And we put this together in like less than 24 hours, and I'm super happy because it's Damon from A Virtue. Every time he's been on the podcast, we have had an incredible time with some incredible stories, including, taking out a whole entire casino in another country in Europe and having to break into a German hotel to steal back their laptop. But this time, we get deep. We talk about the Imminence tour. We talk about the reception to their Omen album, which came out last year. And we also get in deep with Damon's sobriety and how impactful talking about it and presenting a live show is, connecting with people and making you need to see A Virtue live. It's a beautiful thing. You guys ready? Let's go! Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast, coming directly from the road, currently on tour with Imminence. And if you have not gone to see that show, you have to go and see it, because I could see it a couple days ago, and let me tell you, it was one hell of a show, especially seeing these guys play live. After having on the podcast a couple times in the past years, it's like we're doing this every single year at this point. The band released a brand new album called Omen, which came out last year, so you definitely go check it out if you haven't. We talked about it last time. But of course, let's check in with the guys. Let's just check in, see what they're doing, and bring you more of Virtue. So please welcome back Damon of Virtue, the podcast. So Damon, welcome back.
Hey, how's it going, man? Thank you for having me again and again and again.
Dude, it's a pleasure having you again and again and again. When I got the message literally yesterday, I'm like, but it's A Virtue. Of course I'm gonna do it. I love having you guys on the podcast, from crazy stories about taking over casinos in the middle of Europe to scaling the walls in Germany to retrieve a laptop, to today, literally before you came on here, having to work with bolt cutters in the middle of the day for everyone to see. There's never a shortage of great stories with you guys.
No, and to touch on the bolt cutter part, so we bought this it's like a combination lock that doesn't use keys, because we're thinking, we're going to be smart, because nobody wants to be asked 1,000 times to be like, hey, do you have the keys for this? Do you have the keys for this? Or you even print them and people still lose them anyways. So at that point, we're going to try this out. But just like anything else, you're going through different climates and altitudes and everything. And I think this one it was just kind of a bunk lock. And eventually we got to a Walmart, and we tried WD-40. We tried resetting it using a screwdriver. Just wasn't happening. Well, we called locksmith. Unfortunately, those guys are $5 just for them to come out, use a little hack. So I was like, hey, let me go inside, get some bolt cutters real quick, see if we can't get this off ourselves. And I would say he went out there first and tried it, and they kind of realized this looks ultra suspect, because you're just in the middle of a parking lot in broad daylight trying to break into a U-Haul trailer with no one else around you, and people were creeping out. So he's like, hey guys, can you come out and just kind of become a criminal right now? So get out there. And I was like, all right, well, let me give this a whirl, and took a couple tries, finally got it off, and got a new lock, and now we're back in business. So Brinks, your locks are shitty, and you need to fix that. Appreciate that.
Well, at least you guys know not to get a Brinks lock next time, because you don't have to deal with having to look like, total criminals trying to break into a U-Haul in a Walmart parking lot, because it is Walmart. They may be seeing that every now and again, I don't know, once every 2 or 3 days?
Possibly. I mean, they deal with theft every single day. They got people that, they try to walk out with full shopping carts, I'm sure. I don't think the area in Tennessee right now, but the area seems like it's pretty nice. I guess you never know, but hey, it's one of those where we just had to do it quickly and then get out of there, so that way we're not, drawing any more attention to ourselves. So
Yeah, it's something you never want to draw attention to yourself to. Just given the fact that if all of a sudden, what happens if someone sees it, they think it's something else, and they call the cops come over. Now you're stuck there, you're trying to prove, okay, this is actually our trailer, guys. Like, But all you have to do is like show that you have the keys to the van and be like, okay, we're turning it on. It's attached to us. So, and also here's the rental agreement for the U-Haul. Like, come on.
Exactly. But we don't even want it to get to that point. We just want to get out. Honestly, we just wanted to enjoy some food, man, get some brunch, hang out. But now we're on our way to at least do that. So it's working out. The day has been rescued.
The day has been rescued. Huzzah. But most importantly, because I know right now you guys are on tour with Imminence on their second ever US run, playing violin metalcore all over the place. And you guys are opening for them. Just let's take a look back at this tour so far. How has everything been going? Because the one show I was at, ooh, was it fun?
For us, this has been one of the best tours that we've ever done, hands down. Just from the bands, Imminence themselves, Catch Your Breath, great dudes. And I will say this from my personal standpoint, it's having a 3-band package. It's the perfect amount of time for a show where you're not going to be too tired. Hour-long doors so that by the time that we go on stage, because like I said, we're opening, so we play usually around 8 o'clock every night. Almost the entire crowd is there. And we can just let it rip from Jump Street. We're playing 25 minutes on this one. So it's just put in all the bangers. And the crowds they've been electric, super responsive. A lot of people that have been waiting to see us finally had the chance to do it, and they did not disappoint. So, honestly, the sad part really is we only have about 7 or 8 more shows with them. So it's like, we would love for it to go on longer, but at the same time, we know we're just going to make the most out of the opportunity that we've been given so far. And hey, it's been a blessing, man. That's really all I can say. Hold on, I'm going to turn the tables on you, my friend. What did you think of the show?
Well, let's start out with first. I was not expecting Catch Your Breath to open that show, but because Josh's vocals were completely like fried at that point. So seeing Catch Your Breath play without him, but also just still showing up and playing, that was something that was not expected. But I'm like, okay, let's see what's going to happen once the guys in Of Virtue show up, because me and my friends there, we're always the ones that start all the pits and whatnot. So we were going to get something going at some point. All of a sudden, you guys go on, and it was just all go, all gas, no brakes from that point. Probably the best part about it was 2 things that stood out to me. One was the amount of passion that you were putting into the performance as well, that you were putting into what you did. Because I saw a couple of times where it's like, it's like kind of leaned on the mic a little bit, just in like that emotional state, just really letting everything out there. And I'm like, okay, that's where the passion's coming from Of Virtue Live. You absolutely want to be a part of it. But then the last song of the set, seeing Tyler really jump into the pit with us, that's something I don't see that many people do anymore. But seeing Tyler do that, that's something that's going to connect with the audience every step of the way. And it made me a much bigger fan of you guys than I already was going in. So for you guys to be like on that show opening for Imminence, perfect person to open for it, or perfect band to open for it, was Of Virtue.
Hey, appreciate that, man. And that's the thing. So like, even to touch on it a little bit, it's like, we have fun with what we do. This means the absolute world to all of us. It's like we work tirelessly when we're at home just to even get to this point. Not a lot of bands can get to, let alone touring, just playing shows, having people respond the way that people have so far. So it's like, we don't take it lightly. B, there are points too, like, because I talk about certain things during the set, or Tyler talks about certain things. And then when we actually play these songs, it's like, there was a woman in the front that, when I was, I think it was before we were playing sober, and I was, delivering my message, she started crying, and it kind of started messing me up, because I was like, "Ooh, I can't look at you, because if I start looking at you, then I'm gonna start crying, then everybody else is gonna do it." And it's like, there's been a couple of times where it's happened so far like that on here, where you do get emotional, but it's let it out. You let people see that side of you, see the human side, and it's like, we've talked about this before, of like, people will joke around and they call you a rock star, they say this, that, and the third, and it's like, I just kind of combat it and say, it's like, the rock star shit's kind of dead. We are honored and privileged to have this type of platform, but we can't do it without you, without people like yourselves and your platform, the audience members. We still all go to shows too. So it's like, when we see our favorite artists, it's like, you hope to develop that connection to them and not have this kind of like pedestal, if you will. It's like, we're all here kind of for the same thing. It's for that catharsis. It's for that release. It's just to feel good. And we don't need any bullshit. We don't need any politics with it. Just, get out there, have some fun, rock a show, enjoy yourself, and, you know, try to better yourself, I guess, in the process too. So
Absolutely. And it just seeing the fact that, there was a woman in the front of the crowd just, getting emotional while you were speaking about it. It speaks to that positive connection that you're connecting with everybody else during that time. It really just continues to speak to what you guys want to do with connect to the audience, not really have that pedestal of a rock star persona, but kind of be that band that is alongside everybody in the crowd, because you guys love music too. You guys always go to shows. You guys are loving the bands that you play with every single night and are able to create that connection. And it just makes the rock and metal scene a much better place, because, heck, when I saw you guys, that little theater was sold out and it was pretty packed in there. Even when I got there, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to be able to get back down in the middle of the crowd if I even leave at some point just to go get a drink of water or something? But it's just when people are so connected to music, and then when you guys are up on stage and deliver that connection, it stands out so heavily, so that people are going to remember who you guys are. People are going to remember the positive interaction they had with you guys. And it's going to sit in their brain so that when you release new music, or you guys continue to grow, and you guys continue to grow and play more shows that they're able to see, they're going to go and do it. Remembering that, and also remembering Tyler jumping into the crowd, those two things stood out to me as great moments of connection with the fans. At the same time, makes me want to go see you guys even more than I already had. And now I know you guys are coming back around here into the Milwaukee area, specifically in September, and I can't wait to see what you guys do with a headlining set at that point.
oh, it's just called, you just put it on 10, man. It's like, and that's the nice thing is whether it's opening, headlining, playing 2 or 4, 3 or 5 in the middle of it, like you're gonna get the same amount of energy, if not more, each time, because we just know, hey, no matter who is there, it's, and this is the other thing to be cognizant of, especially on the artist side. And I hope more artists do realize this, because we have these conversations even with this. It's the cost of everything goes up. Sometimes we have to charge a little bit more, either for the concert ticket itself, for the merchandise, for anything, even the drinks, the food, everything else. It's, if you're going to spend your hard-earned money, if you're going to come and have this type of experience with all of us, then it is our job, it is our duty, it's our responsibility to over deliver in some ways, where it's like you go to your favorite food restaurant and it's like, you know, each time they give you a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you tip, you this. It's a relationship where it's like, we know that things can be hard, things can be rough, and it's like, if you have to choose, we're gonna make it to where it's like, hey, you're not gonna ever leave in a virtue show. You're not gonna leave anything that we're involved in feeling like, man, I should have gotten more, or I feel like this. It's like we want to make you feel whole and have that fully satisfying emotional experience. So that way, again, you can keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. And it also helps give us a better idea of how to keep reinventing ourselves and keep wanting to, having that drive, having that passion, and honestly, just living in some ways, it's kind of like a dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. And even from the fans' perspective, too, what you're saying is, I keep seeing the price of tickets for concerts go up and up and up, and I want to go to as many shows as I can, but my wages are definitely not increasing at the same rate. So I want to go see as many shows as possible, but it's getting to a point now where the bands I really like to see, I've seen them grow massively at some points, and their ticket prices are starting to get absurd even for me, but it's like, I still want to go see them, but I have to make certain decisions on, do I want to spend the money on that because I know the performance is going to deliver on what I want to see. So when I get to see you guys in September, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to show up just because I know that the price of admission's absolutely worth it. I know you guys are going to give it your all. I know the crowd's going to be connected with it. And it, again, like you said, it allows you guys to continue to figure out how to reinvent yourself, how to make the show even better, how to make that connection even better. So not only do I, fans like myself want to see you every time you come through, but we're making it a priority to see you because we're getting that positivity. And we know that it is very much worth our time to go and see you guys play live. And especially for people that have bigger responsibilities. If you have kids, that's the show you want to go to say, I got to find a babysitter. I got to find people to watch my kids because A Virtue is playing and I ain't missing it.
Exactly. And, hey, man, we're on the same page here. And it's, when you come see us in Milwaukee, it's going to be great. And to anybody else that wants to come see us, like I said, we're going to put 150% into everything that we have, and make sure that you do leave feeling wholly satisfied. Maybe, with a couple of tears or two. In some cases, there's a couple. There was one dude, I think he dislocated his shoulder. I was like, ooh, he went you went a little too hard, my friend. Or maybe he didn't because he had a big old smile on his face. So
I'll say if when you're in the pit and you get injured, but if you have a big old smile on your face, you know that you got injured doing something you absolutely love and being in a place that you absolutely love. Because I know that wasn't the show I was at, but I mean there were definitely some hard hits in there. But we're just doing it. We're having a blast and we're feeling the music at that point. We're feeling the energy and we're getting it directly from you guys. So, of course, now I'm pretty sure if you guys even go back to Madison too, or when you guys go back to Madison, Wisconsin, people are going to show up because they know exactly what to expect from you guys and they know it's going to be something they want to be a part of.
I hope so. That's all I can ask for. And we'll do what we can to facilitate that and make that happen. So, people in Wisconsin, don't you fret. We'll be back at some point. So,
Oh, we know you're going to be back. One thing I do want to ask about is because the last time we had you on, Omen was just about to release. And of course, it's been out for about half a year at this point. What has been your overall reaction to the reception of Omen and how the fans have been taking to it?
oh, it's been fantastic, man. Like, a lot of like there was a few songs that have already been released obviously ahead of time, but
Mhm.
the nice thing is like as we kept putting out more songs, like you're getting more of a new audience. And just with every show and every tour, everything that we've been able to push, it's like we've just kind of seen this like steady increase of just engagement, people talking back with us, telling us what the songs mean to them, the favorite ones. And again, more in the like the live realm. This tour specifically, it's like songs like Sinner or songs like Cannibals, where there's a lot of these big, sing along parts that we had baked in there because that's what we want to see, obviously. And hearing those crowds, even through our in-ears, man, it's like it's wild. Like, not to say that you never imagined it, but it's to hear how loud some of these people are, where they're like, yo, we've been waiting, 2 or 3 years to see you guys, or, oh, I saw you at this festival with so and so, but you hadn't came around since. And it's like sometimes it's just waiting for the right opportunity. It's letting that kind of build up, kind of, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, as long as we come through and do what we're supposed to do, then it's an awesome experience. And I would say that the only thing that what maybe as a drawback is we just can't, we have a shorter time slot on this tour so far, so we're not able to play maybe some of the songs that people have been requesting. Like, but once we get into some more headlining stuff, once we can actually play some longer sets, we're gonna even try to do some front to back stuff because Omen's not too long. But again, to answer the main question, the response so far has been absolutely incredible, and again, we couldn't think of a better starting point of where we're at right now to keep this train rolling. So
What are the good parts about that, especially when you have people coming up asking, you're playing this song, you're playing this song on this Imminence tour, and you only have a set time frame is, yeah, you're not able to play them, which kind of sucks, but the demand is there. People are loving these songs and they want to see them perform live. So when you guys get the opportunity to go out and do this as a headline runner, have a lot more time to have a set for, you're going to be able to deliver on that, and potentially hearing Omen front to back or just the whole entire thing in a whole entire set gets me really excited just because, hell, I haven't never heard the whole entire thing live yet. I have heard a couple of songs live, especially on the Imminence run, but I haven't heard the whole thing. And being a part of this, just being able to talk to you for a couple of times, always hearing crazy stories, always having great conversations with you, now seeing you perform live and really getting into it, I want to see this whole thing play out. I want to hear the whole entire thing too. So yeah, please play it.
that's the goal, man. And again, it's stuff that we talk about too, where it's like sometimes you don't even get a chance. Like some bands will do that maybe on special occasion, but it's like maybe to do that for a tour or something where it's like we can actually make kind of like an evening with or like a whole special thing of reorganize the set list, kind of put in some little things that we feel like maybe have a light package, have just some visuals that can go along with it. It's like we feel that the lane that we're in, the music that we're making now, it's not just about the music anymore. It's like, how do we make this again the most wholly surreal experience, not only for people coming out to see us, but for us as well as like the creatives. You know, we see the bands with like the large productions and the pyro and the walls and everything else, and it's like, man, some of the moods and the dynamics and the things that we do have in our music, it's like it can be accented. Like Under Oath is one of my favorite bands, and yes, it's their songs are great, but it's almost like their songs are enhanced by seeing what they can do with the lights, with varying degrees of visual creativity that go along with it. And it's like, I feel like that could be the next step for us. But right now, like I said, at least with the reception of how the songs, what they mean to people, people coming out, and even I would even say let's talk about Sober for a quick second. It's like we play that one every night, and the amount of people in the rock and metal community now that we're starting to see that are on that train, on a more clear thinking, like disregard hard drugs, disregard alcohol, the substances that have been tied to heavy music and counterculture for so long. But then when you kind of realize, like, hey, when I see a musician or I see other people that aren't doing that but are still able to enjoy and participate in this lifestyle, it's like it frees you up a little bit to go, you know what, maybe I just did this because I thought that's what we were supposed to do. And now that I see other people and I don't feel as alone or by myself in this endeavor, I can be more of myself. And that's what you want out of people. That's what you want out of your favorite artists. That's what we want for ourselves. You never want to feel like you're, foreign in any type of thing that, you want to call home, or drives you to, have that fun or that outlet. So talk for about it, but and my allergies are killing me. My apologies.
Oh, you're good, man. And it's, it's May, it's allergy season, it happens. But it is a cool thing to see that, the counterculture, especially within rock and metal, it is also embracing more of that healthy lifestyle, more of the, you get away from hard drugs, away from alcohol. If you like, especially, alcohol, there's people that enjoy drinking at times. I still do. So I don't drink at shows though, just because I'd never want to have that like take away from my experience. But I know people that don't drink anymore. There's a friend that's in our friend group who was drinking a lot last year. Now she's gone pretty much completely sober, and her life has just continued to get better and better. She's being even more invested in the rock and metal community. It's a fantastic thing to see, and we're all behind her and everything that she's doing with this. So just seeing how that's all coming together and how you guys have a song that really brings people together in that moment, especially in a live setting, it continues to build up on the positivity that you guys are bringing, continues to build up on the message you guys are bringing to us. And it just has that massive connection piece. It's a beautiful thing to see. So continue to play Sober live and continue to get people really invested in it because, again, it's a beautiful thing.
And that's all we can do. It's, I've had people tell me in the past where, at least in that aspect for, my background, it's like I haven't always been the most comfortable with sharing that because in some ways you want to distance yourself from it. You feel like that was a different version of me. So how does that apply to what I'm doing now? But you also realize it's like there could be somebody in the audience, there could be somebody just literally on the street that might just need to hear that message because they go, damn, okay, this person that maybe doesn't know who I am, but is willing to speak up on their things and say, hey, it doesn't have to be like this, and they can move forward. Or even it's still an active thing, because that's the other thing that people don't realize too when it comes to certain stages of recovery is like you're never actually like fully recovered in some ways. You're always replacing that with something. So it's like, I stopped doing drugs, but then you have to figure out something that's going to occupy that time. In some cases for this, like it's music, it's exercise, it could be support groups, it could just be healthy activities that still require that level of attention and intensity, but it's at least positive. And some people they don't think about their personality type or like their addiction in that way. Like it's weird to even say because there's some like subreddits or some forums or groups where it's like, what is a healthy addiction? And it's like, okay, you're trying to take a spin on something, make it positive, but it's true because again, you can still have it's almost kind of like borderline the same mindset of like do whatever you can, do what's necessary, but you also realize it's like it's going to go towards a good thing. And as long as you don't lose yourself in the process, then there's really you can win in so many different ways.
Yeah, one of the other important things too about it, especially you owning it and speaking up about it, is because when you speak up about it and you own it, it shows that, you're not, your past is the past, but it's also helped make you who you are today and help create a better you essentially. And when people get to see that, one of like three things happen. One, they can never use that against you because how can they use something against you that you own and are just like, yeah, that happened. So what? Now I'm here, and this is what it's led to. It's led to better things. Secondly, it gives that people that feeling of camaraderie where they know you've gone through it. They can connect with you on that point, and they can use that as a potential inspiration point to continue to go forward, to try and get better, try and be healthier, and get past that addiction standpoint. And third, when they see that and they are able to do that, then they're able to basically be in your position, connect with the music a lot more, connect with you a lot more, find things that are going to make them much better off in their own lives, and then be that connecting point, that inspiration point for other people to continue to do the same, so they don't feel like they're going to be stuck within that, because they see the example, they know it's possible, and now they feel like they're able to do it because you're able to speak up about it and to show truly what it is, who you are, and just look at where you are right now, man. You're traveling across the country, playing shows, playing music, doing what you love. Couldn't ask for anything better than that.
No. And again, none of it would be happening if, I kept deciding to do the same stupid stuff that was putting me in a hole in the first place. So it's one of those things every night I do tell people. It's not only is it the friends and family, it's the community. It's people that I like. When people that I don't know can hold me accountable, because I don't know who I'm going to meet or who I'm going to encounter, but I know that I do want to be the best version of myself when I do encounter those, because a first impression is a lasting one. Sometimes I might meet people once and I might never see them again, but hopefully you would want them to speak on their experience with you, or however they took it as a positive one. And in some ways they can look back and it might even be the only positive thing. I've been in that situation before, where there's musicians that I've never met. Some of my favorite bands, it's like, will I probably ever meet them? No. But through what they were able to put out, they were being honest, they were being sincere, and it provided kind of like a vision of how I wanted to operate, how this band wants to operate. So it's lasted. It's been one of those things where they did what they were supposed to do to not only help themselves, and then it helped the rest of the world. And I happen to be a part of the world for that point in time. So.
And it's a beautiful thing. And Damon, I do want to thank you for taking the time today, especially while you're on the road. I know you got to get going to another one of these, so I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I do want to thank you, but one last thing I got to ask is, going forward throughout the rest of the year, I know there's more shows you guys are playing, headlining shows, so people can want to go see them, but they got to know where to find you. So where can we go find you, man?
Find us everywhere. So we actually do have a real website. It's virtueband.com. Hard to believe. Facebook, at a Virtue, Twitter or X at a Virtue, TikTok, same thing, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Amazon, Pandora. Basically, if you have a phone and a pulse, you can find us wherever you need. We also have a Lalo link. It's a texting service that you can sign up. That way we can text you directly when we're coming back through. There's some unreleased music on those links as well. So just saying, if you want to go sign up for that, it's like our own little private newsletter and community. Helps us stay involved with you. So that's where we're at, my friend.
Well, everybody go sign up for that and go follow along with Of Virtue. Go support them, and also go get some merch too and go see me at a live show. So go script for the podcast below. It'll say find Of Virtue online. Links level for all the stuff we're going to be there. I'm doing all the searching for you. You got no reason not to just click on that link and go for it. So go support Of Virtue and make sure you go see a live show, because I highly, highly recommend it. Where I'm going to see another live show in September when they come through to a headline run in Milwaukee. And when I saw you on Monday, man, I'm sorry I missed you, actually in person, because I do owe you at least 2 first rounds at this point. Milwaukee, it's a lot easier. So I will definitely be like freaking Santa Claus and bring a bunch of different goodies for you guys, because I love seeing you live. Love having you on the podcast. I got to make good on that promise, man. So in September, I got you covered.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Thank you for having us again, and we'll talk soon. All right.
Oh, we'll talk soon. And of course, can't end this by saying goodbye, because always a pleasure to talk to you, Damon. I know we're going to do another one of these podcasts again in the future. We seem like we do one every single year. Plus, I'll see you in September. So this is not goodbye. This is, I'll see you later.
See you later, my friend.
Woo! Well, folks, that was my interview with Damon from the band Of Virtue. Now it's time for Kevin's final thought. My final thought is I love getting in deep with Damon on this podcast, even though we only had a limited time, but I wasn't going to say no to the guy. This guy is an incredible human, an incredible person, and any chance I get to bring Of Virtue a lot more fans and bring them more to light to people in the rock and metal community, I am going to do it. And here's why. So I've always had fun talking to these guys. I had a lot of fun at their live show, seeing how much passion they put into it, seeing how emotional Damon could get in this, and you could see the amount of energy being put into it, and that's going to be resonating with the fans. Plus, Tyler jumping in the pit with us, because you guys all love the freaking pit, and being in that mosh pit, ooh, yeah, that was really connective for me personally. But having the ability to speak openly about struggles, especially from neighbors, speak openly about being sober and connecting with people in that light, owning that ability in your life and showing, hey, this is what happened, but this is where I'm at right now and we're going forward with it. It allows people to see the strength and see the other side and have that connection point that you are able to do something like that. So whether you're trying to get sober off of hard drugs or get sober off from alcohol or just anything in life that is from your past that you're trying to build back from, it gives you the connection that you can do this. That's the beauty of music. That's the beauty of these live performances, because there's going to be other people in the crowd that have gone through the same things and connect them. Now you get to see it. Now you get to connect with those people, and you get that support group built up in rock and metal to really do it. Heck, at that Imminence show, how many of my people I know of friends that are in these different rock and metal chats and groups that I'm in, I think it was something like 15 or 16 people. We all come from different walks of life. We all were there because we love music, we love live shows, and there's going to be some band in there we wanted to see. Pretty much everyone wanted to see Imminence. I wanted to see all three, mostly because I want to see Imminence again, Of Virtue, Catch Your Breath, been on the podcast multiple times, and I love seeing those guys live. So it was a beauty to see, but the amount of connection that bands have to connect us to things that we care about, to push us to be better people, to inspire us to be better for ourselves, and connect us with people that are going to help us do the same, that we can help them do the same. It's a beautiful thing. When it comes to Virtue, go script the podcast below to find where they are online: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, the text link, YouTube, website, merch, live shows, all down there for you. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Chord Progression Podcast right down here. New episodes every single Tuesday and Thursday, and reactions every single week, usually Fridays. Pretty much always Fridays. And make sure you like the video and the episode right here as well. Pushes in the algorithm. You can also subscribe and follow on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All links are in the description below. Thank you once again, Damon. This was incredible. Cannot wait to see you perform live once again. Actually pay up on the good old first rounds on me with a lot more behind it, and have you on the podcast once again in the future. Yes. On that note, that's for you guys. Thank you for listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single one. Sounds a big, healthy, and hearty. See ya!